welcome to Team Impact for City and County Credit Union. My name is Tisha Sheridan and I'm the Member Connections Manager. We come together today for International Women's Day. We are doing an interview series with some phenomenal women. Today I have with me Bridgette Stewart, who is the Director of Communications and Public Relations for Agape Movement of Minneapolis, which is a Black community outreach organization. Bridgette, thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to have this interview with me for City and County's Team Impact as we celebrate, acknowledge, and uplift women in Minnesota, nationally, and around the world.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
You know, Bridgette, along with Agape Movement of Minneapolis, you all have had such an impact on the Black community. You are a very passionate female community activist who has such a deep connection to the community, and you always give your heart and soul and make a positive change. I just have a cool and amazing fact that I would like to share about you. You are a trained firefighter with a degree in fire science. How cool is that? You know, it
Yeah, a
is,
lot of people don't know that about me.
so I just shared, right?
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. It is such an honor to have you here with us today. So I have a few questions that I'd like to ask. And the first question is, what does International Women's Day mean to you?
Wow, that's a loaded question. So it means so much on so many different levels, from a political standpoint, from an economic standpoint, to a culture standpoint, just being able to really allow for women to be honored in their space in which they have specialized and carved for themselves. The majority of every industry is still predominantly male. It's male dominated, especially for the work that I do, being an active firefighter, male dominated. Being in the entertainment industry, male dominated. Being inside of activism and community outreach, male dominated. So to me, it's just a month to highlight what we do as women and as moms. A lot of us are moms and we're just on the go, and it's just an opportunity to say, let's take a moment, let's honor these women outside of the month of May and say, hey, we see you, we hear your voice, and thank you for being that trailblazer for the next generation.
I love it, and I totally agree with you. The next question I have for you is, how has working for Agape Movement of Minneapolis allowed you to fuel your passion, your vision, and your leadership in the Black community?
Yeah, you've got great questions. Coming from a media standpoint, that's a good question. Are you sure you're not like in media? You sure you work for City County Credit Union? I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see the logos behind you. Wow, working for Agape has really been an honor because it's not just here in Minneapolis. We are internationally known. We started on May 26th, the day after George Floyd was murdered. We hadn't at that point in time come up with the name Agape Movement, but all of us were centered around this very community. Myself being the dance and cheerleading coach at the park just down the street. It's been a lot of work. It's hard work. We have to deal with the city. We have to deal with city council. We deal with the police departments, the sheriff department, and then we really focus on our community. We deal a lot with the local residents and the local businesses that are right here inside of George Floyd Square. But it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but it's continued to fuel my passion because I care about the elders in our community. I care about the youth in our community. And we just want to be able to give our space a safety zone where people can come outside and not be afraid.
Right.
That's the work.
Well, you definitely, along with Agape Movement, have really stepped that up, and we can definitely see the positive impacts that you all have had. So thank you very much. You know, you partner with some amazing organizations for the movement of positive outcomes for the Black community. Can you tell me some of those organizations that you have partnered with, and what are some of the initiatives that you've been working on?
Sure. So one of our main partners and one of the, I wouldn't call them, they're not an organization, I don't think. I don't know. Paisley Park is one of our largest partners. We also partner with Culture, Health, and Wellness, um, which is funded by Attune, and she is part of the global market just down the street on Chicago and Lake. And working with Paisley Park, we've had an opportunity to work with a gentleman named Pat Adams, who actually came up with a song named If I Ruled the World and Changed the Heart. That song, we were able to assist Pat in getting it up and running inside of Times Square. To me, that's one of my largest accomplishments in life so far, outside of my handsome son. Um, but yeah, having the ability to be able to say, "Hey, let's get this up in Times Square and make it happen." Millions of people are inside of Times Square at any given day, and just having it on a billboard that's globally seen was huge for us.
Right. And the message that it brings. The
Yes,
message.
absolutely. So if people want to check the song out, they can go to YouTube. They can type in If I Ruled the World or Change of Heart or Pat Adams and really get a good understanding of the song. It's a minute and 20-second song, and it was filmed right out here inside of George Floyd Square.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. We definitely take a look at that. Now, can you please share with me why you started the Phelps Falcon cheerleading and dance team and became the girls' coach? What positive impact did you see with the girls building the team as their coach?
Sure. So I started off noticing that it was my son's football practice, and I was noticing that there were so many activities for the guys, for the young men. And I kept seeing the girls just kind of hanging around with nothing to do. And so I stopped one young lady and asked her, "What are you guys doing?" She said, "Nothing, we're just hanging out." And I thought to myself, well, idle minds cause for bad behavior. They need something to do for the girls. And so I kept watching them for a few days. And then I pulled them aside and I said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in cheer and dance?" And they kind of, you know, gave me the little bit of the girl alien pushback. And I was like, "Nope, just keep at it, Bridgette. They're going to give in." And they did. And by the time we were well into it, I had a squad of 22 girls, ages of 8 to 14. I followed those girls from elementary, middle school into high school and beyond. All of them graduated on time, and none of them became a teenage mom. Yeah. And
Was amazing.
a lot of them went on to get married. They still stop by the office and say hi to me now that the office is in their old neighborhood where they grew up. And yeah, it was a huge impact. They helped me more than they'll ever know. They think I was helping them, but they were actually helping me. And now we have a new initiative that we're starting. I don't know. The heartstrings just keep tugging for me with the young girls. It's going to be called Gym. So like the stones, the gems, the jewelry. But it stands for Girls Empowering Minnesota. And they are getting sworn in on April 1st by our first Black female sheriff in Hennepin County. Sheriff Witt is going to swear them in, and they will be junior police officers where they will be able to help change the narrative in our Black community here locally and hopefully globally, that when you see something, it's okay to say something.
Right. Wow, that's pretty impactful. So again, amazing work that you continue to do and the many hats that you wear. So not surprised though, not surprised. So the next question I have for you, what advice would you give girls or children about being financially educated in today's world?
It has to start with their parents. I can remember teaching my son the three S's: spend, save, share. And that's what I would tell all children. Whenever you get your money from your birthday, the tooth fairy, doing chores around the house, learn how to get three little jars, put spend on one, save on one, and share on one. And your share could be share your finances with your friend. Maybe you buy them a lunch, or maybe you go and you pick up something for the household. And then the biggest one though is you have to save. You have to be able to save your money. And learning that, to me, at such an early stage, I'm doing like the little kid move over here. Doing it at such an early age will help your children understand when they get 18 and they're thrown out into the world, really knowing how to budget their money in a proper way. So yeah, I would say parents, do the three S's. Children, understand that you have to save your money.
I love that. I love that. I'm going to remember that the three S's. You know, with City and County Credit Union, we really do want children to be financially educated, and they do offer classes, financial education classes, and they have UCD. So we definitely want our future leaders to be financially savvy as they continue to grow up. So definitely appreciate the three S's, right?
Three S's. And then there's another one. There's a game called Cash Flow. And this one's geared more towards the older students.
Mhm.
And Cash Flow is like Monopoly, but it's with real life scenarios. So you draw a card, and one of those cards may be, oh, your unexpected pregnancy. Do you have enough money for this unexpected medical bill? And it makes the kids think about how they're going to spend their money, because you have to, it starts off with a circle and it's a rat. And so you got to get out of the rat race to even get on the board. So you got to spin and throw the dice like 4 times sometimes before you even get your first paycheck. So sometimes before you even get that first paycheck, you're still in the race, and you're not even on the board yet. You haven't got a paycheck, but you have 2 flat tires. What do?
Right.
So it's
Really,
real life scenarios. So cash flow is a good game to play with older kids so they can understand real life scenarios when it comes to money.
right.
Financial literacy.
Sorry, you just took the words out of my mouth. Real life, right? Real life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, real life
definitely,
scenarios. So
yes.
financial literacy is huge. I think that I would hope to see that social economics will come back to the schools, and just the basic learning, the basic foundation of that. I would hope to see that in the future come back to the schools for our kids.
So our last question is, what is something that you would like to share with our young girls about being future leaders?
That you can do anything your heart desires, that there's no goal and no dream that is limited. I'd love to see young girls. There's a group of girls that we work with, and their basketball team is called No Limit Girls. And as soon as I thought about it, I thought about Master P, and I thought about the No Limit whole branding that he did, and how he came up with his name, Master P, that he was going to be the master of Percy Miller. And I think of, that's what every child and every human being should strive for, especially a young lady, because we're told, be a mom, be a wife, you've got life handled, right? No, there's so much more. If that's your dream, great. Be the best mom and the best wife you can be. But if that's not your dream and you want to be that supreme judge, go for it. No one's telling you you can't do it. I'm telling you, you can do it. Go for it. No dream too small, no dream too big. Just do it.
Right. And manifesting it. So very
Oh,
true.
yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, Bridget, thank you for an amazing interview for City and County's Team Impact International Women's Day. Thank you for your wisdom, your passion, and being a positive role model for the Black children in the community. We appreciate you being, again, that leader, that connector, and the mentor. And you are truly an inspiration in the many hats that you wear.
Thank you. I'm surprised I don't have on a hat today. I'm
Well,
taking
thank
it
you so
easy.
much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.